so we don't. What's up, Roger Bear?
What's up, guys? I'm here with Taylor Budd out here in Phoenix, Arizona. We're chilling in the Cactus Botanical Gardens. I'm actually gonna flip this because this is really cool. Oh my god.
The peacock ran up. As soon as he was like, yo, y'all doing things? I'm trying to peacock. Literally.
So cool. So yeah.
I didn't even saw. I wish I'd have saw hop the vents or the little wall
Hey,
there.
bud.
That thing is investigative.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was like, hold on, let me stun on y'all video real quick. It'd be nice for it to bring them feathers out.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
Stun it on us. Yeah.
For a lot of people who have been following my journey and watching the whole, you know, food-free lifestyle, pranic living lifestyle, I just wanted to talk with Taylor today because he was actually my inspiration for this, and he was the first person to teach me breath work and to show me that a food-free pranic living lifestyle was even possible. So yeah, it's really powerful, and it's really cool to be able to have people in my life that like actually pave the way and show that this is possible. I was talking with Taylor. He's actually coming up on 1 year of no food. So 2 days from now, right?
Yeah.
It was we were actually together in Phoenix, Arizona last year. On Black Friday was the day that he just decided that he was done.
Yeah.
You're done with food. It hurt too bad. You couldn't keep going. And so Thanksgiving is obviously next week, but a full year, it was the 24th of November was the last time you ate.
The 23rd.
23rd
so
of November
24th
was
would
the
be,
last time.
yeah.
So tomorrow, today's the 22nd of November, so tomorrow
Yeah, but the
will
24th,
be like
I guess, would be the
the
beginning
last
of it.
time you actually ate solid food.
Yeah, last time I chewed food.
Yeah, so what was it that actually made you decide that you were done eating food?
I think it's more so just a release, like, you know, when you just have certain releases emotionally that you just, because a lot of the eating is emotional, you know, it's tied to the emotion, you know. People dress up foods. People dress up salt with vegetables and flesh and all types of things, and they just want the salt. And I think for me, it just became clear, like, you know, the ingredients that I was after, and then why I was after them, you know, the emotional basis of them. A lot of that got released, so then it didn't really become like a resistance thing, because, you know, the idea of the lifestyle of being on liquids, liquidarian, liquid, you know, and beyond, that was already fathomable to me, but it felt like resistance, like I would be resisting food. But then I had emotional releases that made it to where it just felt natural to not even, you don't even really think about certain things, like certain, you know, certain foods don't even occur to me. Like, certain things just don't occur to me.
Yeah.
Of course. People would not call me any other time, you know. So yeah, like, it's, you know, certain things, it just, it doesn't occur when you're in a certain state of just constantly breathing every day, doing breath work every day, creating a different pattern, a different breathing pattern, and then the eating patterns just changed. Like, so I had reached a point where I was consistent enough on the breath work for about a year at that point. Yeah, from probably about October, November 2017 to November 2018, I was consistent on my breath work for that, like pretty much every day in that time period. And I had a lot of emotional releases, different periods, different, I guess, healing crisis periods during that time. And then once Black Friday rolled around, which was kind of like an emotional time for me in general, you know, I had a release to where it just woke up the next day and it was impossible. Like, you know, like, you remember, like, I made salads for us to have, and then I was just like, I can't bring myself to eat this. It's as good as it looks and it smells, and
that was awkward. I remember we were making salads every night up to that point, and then I think either you made a salad or I made a salad, I can't remember, but we sat down together to eat it, and like we were like across from each other at the table, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to work soon, I'm eating my salad, and you just sat there like you didn't even eat it.
Yeah, like it just, I don't know, it felt like almost like if I was to put this in me, something that it felt like I didn't really want or need, that it was gonna like block the emotional release even more, like the overall kind of tip of the iceberg, I think, kind of like, you know, you always feel like, okay, that's it, I've made it to the next level, that's it, I'm done. But it's kind of like a tip of the iceberg emotional release, to where, you know, I didn't know what other episodes I was gonna have from that point to now, but that was kind of the beginning of the end of the person I was, in a sense. And it was wild, because it's not like I don't remember. I still remember foods and the way they would taste in my mind and the idea of them and stuff, but I'm just not drawn to it the same. You know, the idea always is better than really doing it. I mean, even with a smoothie, a lot of the times you'd be like, man, I really think I want this, the idea of this, how this could feel, and then once you get it in your organs, you're like, damn, just stretch these organs out and everything, and it's like, so I don't know. It's wild, like, you know, never really would have thought that it would be this easy. It really has felt easy this whole time, and it hasn't felt like something that I had to really like force myself to do. It felt like my body naturally wanted to do it, and I hit a bunch of periods where it was like, well, you know, if it starts to feel like forcing it, then I'll stop, but life kept supporting it. So I was like, damn, I guess I'll just keep going, you know, like the option was always there and available to me to continue to stay liquid, and now I see like how you can go waterian. I can see that, how that's possible, and just enjoying the process now in this phase.
Yeah, just take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
So like, as a liquidarian, what's like a typical day in the life for you?
It's really emotional. It's about like, it depends on my emotions. It really, because, you know, in general, like if I don't put the breath first in a day, and like I wake up to, if it's something, you know, erratic waking me up or something like that, that can throw off the day, to where I would want something heavier like a smoothie. And then, you know, that could just set up, that could change the whole next 3 days. But if I was to stay on just coconut water for a day or two, that could, the next 2 weeks could be just coconut water and water. So it's like, it's so emotionally based and like breath based, in a sense. Like if I get behind on my breathing, if I let the emotions win, it could change my day, to where, yeah, I would want a bunch of smoothies throughout the day, you know.
Yeah, every day is so different.
Yeah, you know, it really comes down to like staying above the dialogue and the visuals in your mind, and being like, you know, how's my breath right now in this moment? How's my body really feeling? Just do the inventory, like where is the pressure in me, like, you know, to do this or to not do certain things in my day. Like there's, you know, where's the pressure in my body right now, and like, how am I breathing? And that if I don't do that, then, you know, I'm definitely liable to have a heavier liquid day, for sure, than if I stay in the moment.
So it's been 365 days almost of no food, but the crazy part is that this is actually your second year, not consecutively, but it's second year doing this, isn't it?
Yeah. 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, 2013 was my year. Again, another year of sobriety. You know, that was a thing too, because like the liquid diet made it to where I don't want to get high. I don't want to drink. I don't want to put certain things in my body now. Like definitely, you know, don't want to be around certain people, but not to like separate myself from them, but just more so to like respect, you know, the realities. And it's crazy how much like has changed in that time, like in just in the last year. Like it's just been, yeah, no desire for weed now. Definitely no desire to drink. And you know, I was like really like into casual sex, and now it's like it really got to have like some substance. It can't just, you know, it really changed everything. Like it's really wild like that, man. Like I feel like a lot, you know, as far as my last time that I was doing extended liquids, it was because I was sober. Yeah, again, holding the seed, you know what I mean? Because that's been like a while too now, you know, so it's been like the same thing with that. At that time, at that period, I was holding the seed, sober, just really just taking care of myself in the moment, you know what I mean? Like it was really just more so staying in the moment and not giving into the carnal ideas, really, because your body doesn't really want to do it either. I shouldn't even call it carnal, because I feel like a lot of stuff that people say, like, oh, my body, it don't even really want to do that either. You know, it's just this idea of things. Like, it's just get kind of caught up. But yeah, I guess this would technically be like my second year of it. I fell off the wagon trying to convert other people, you know. Like, you know, that was kind of my issue, instead of just doing it for myself. Like before, it was like I wanted to do this to prove it, and to do these things to show other people, to, you know, bring things out of them. But now it's at a point where it's like, this is genuinely how I feel inside myself, and I'm just gonna honor how I feel inside myself. And I think that was the difference for me, more so, like, instead of trying to do it to prove something, because at this point it's really not, you know, kind of beating a dead horse. It's like, you know, I guess I could have a salad or something if I really wanted to, but you know, if that happens and I really wanted to do it, then I would do it. But you know, the
desire hasn't been there.
Yeah, you know, and I feel like what made me really hungry before to even break it before was seeing the potential in other people, neglecting the potential in myself, and wanting to change other people. That made me hungry. Then I got really grounded, and then I wanted to get high. You know, like I feel like when you're like really, really grounded, then you can get high. Like it's part of the balance that you could, you can get more high. Like now I feel so light to where you don't need to. I feel so, I feel like if I get high, I get like, it's like getting possessed. Like I'm not as grounded, like in that sense. Like, you know, I'm not as dense to where I can, you know, keep my sanity in it while being high. You know, because if I was to get high or something like that now, it just feels like getting pushed out of my body, really. And I really enjoy being in my body at this point, you know. Yeah, because it feels good now. Yeah, being this light, it feels good. Yeah, like I really like being in my body. I want to, you know, it's fully inhabiting my body. Before, I guess it was more so escapism and running from emotions and stuff, but as I like settle into it and heal the body more and more, it's a nice place to live. So I don't really want to get pushed out, and I don't want to, you know, I've discerned which presence is mine and which presence is, you know, would be like, I guess, an other, if you want to call it that, you know. You know, so I don't really want to open the door for that much anymore. And you know, not to judge anybody, you know, people got their own balance, like I said, you know what I mean. I'm just not grounded enough to make that part of my balance, to do certain things like that. Like it's, you know, I definitely did notice that though. Like before, if I was eating dense things, then I could get high, and then it balanced it out. Being on, you know, being more on the ground like that, it balanced it out to where you can get high. But then like you're breathing so much for so long, and then the routine's gradually changing and your body's gradually changing, and you don't really want it. You just don't. You're already getting it from another way, and just a different arrangement of things. Yeah.
So in the last few months, you and I both have seen an increased interest from people about this lifestyle, the food-free lifestyle, or the pranic living.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people are interested in you know, seeing how they can do this. So like, do you think that this is available for everybody? And like, if so, what's the steps that you would suggest people to take to get to where you're at now?
I think anything is possible, you know what I mean? But I guess with the universal process being what it is, it's always going to be like kind of a yin and yang thing where there's going to be people here to show us what not to do, and people here that's showing you the way to the way. And I think it's possible, you know. Definitely, I think it's overall hydration, you know. Like, I was getting high, I was drinking. A lot of things I was doing was just different forms of dehydration. So as the overall hydration changed, you know, over the last year, I gradually couldn't indulge in certain states of dehydration. Didn't want to dehydrate my lungs, didn't want to dehydrate my liver anymore. You know, so I think that people definitely just got to start with the hydration and the breath work, and gradually increasing the breath work, and then eventually you won't want to be dehydrated, so you won't indulge in the things that make you dehydrated. So.
Yeah, because that was the key for me was, you know, you taught me the breath work and showed me exactly how to do it, and it was only a few days later that I realized or had seen a decrease in appetite in my own body. And I just noticed, like, the more I practice, the more I'm really putting in the hours of breath work, then I feel like I don't need anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, that's a really great place to start.
Yeah, I think, you know, you have a probably better circulation than a lot of folks, you know. I think, you know, the hydration and the breath work definitely changed a lot. You know, people need to move around. Like, you know, you definitely move your body a lot more than a lot of people. So when you do start the breath work, the channels in your body are already kind of more available to, like, distribute the prana. You know, once you're taking that in a conscious way, and you're like, you know, your body's disseminating into your extremities and everything, and it's coming back to your heart. Like, it's definitely you know, it's like I said, you move around, so the channels are open. It's different than someone that's, you know, sedentary and they haven't been moving, and then they start doing breath work. They might start getting headaches, they might start to heat up, and then they're gonna have bad thoughts and be angry, and then they'll say they don't enjoy breath work, but circulation is just poor, so different areas of the body are heating up, you know, to like a fever, to burn off things. And if you're like working out, or if you know, if you dance or whatever it is you do to move around, then you're already pretty much going through those self-induced fevers to heat up the body, to burn things off, to open the channels, to keep the circulation, the flow of light and prana. So I think all that, man, you definitely got to move, breathe, and hydrate, you know, as much as possible. But like you said, man, some people in 3-4 days, they'll see a change, you know, if they can apply themselves like that, to where they can do 45 minutes to an hour every morning, you know, when they wake up. You know, if they could do that for 4 or 5 days, like if they could just stick to that, you know. And everybody's disciplined in their own way, you know. People discipline, like, where they're gonna wake up and watch football every Sunday and do certain things, and they do certain things that it really is a discipline that they just take for granted, but they could apply it in this other way. Or
even going to work every day, you know, getting up and doing your daily things, that's discipline too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I feel like a lot of people could definitely just switch the channel, basically, or, you know, just switch the circuit boards, I guess, however you want to look at it, to where they shift the discipline from, you know, things that aren't growing them anymore, and things that aren't necessarily making them comfortable, to where, you know, they can generate a different comfort level and grow some more, you know. And just, you know, really, you applied yourself every day. You're really doing the breathing and really going through the routine, and you know, people are gonna have stuffy noses, and they're gonna quit, you know, like, you know, you never quit on it. So it's like, it's just, you gotta really just focus for like at least a week or two. I mean, you know,
really get the hang of it, get the practice. It is a practice. Yeah, we were just talking about that too the other day, where it was like, when I first started practicing breath work, I was blowing my nose like every time. Like, I couldn't breathe through my nose. We were doing pranayamas, where you close one side of your nose and breathing into the other side, and I'd always have to have tissues. Like, I just like didn't have a clear nose, and I feel like a lot of people would probably give up at that point because it's so uncomfortable. But like, it probably took me 3 months before of breath work before I was really actually able to breathe without tissues. And so like it takes people a while sometimes to just detox and clean their bodies and really get the hang of the practice.
Yeah, break down
before it's comfortable, because it's not comfortable at first. It really hurts. It's not, you know, your mind gets in the way. You start thinking, oh, this is hard. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, you just really have to like remind yourself like the practice is really important.
Yeah, because you're circulating so much. When you start circulating the blood, then you're circulating the old thoughts that you've been burying and the emotions, and then the mucus starts to circulate, and then like I know, yeah, it's the same thing though for me for a long time. Like my breaths were so heavy, and I could hear them. They're real loud, especially through my nostrils. And I was rushing them and pushing them through, and they weren't gentle, you know. So a lot of it had to do with the smoking, because the grief in my lungs, and so I just had to push through that, you know. It's really a lot of just like candida on the brain, you know. It's mucus on the brain. So it's like you gotta just shift all of that, bring more blood to your brain, because when you're doing the breath work, you're bringing more blood to the brain. So the pressure in your brain is changing, and then your sinuses are all gonna change, and all these channels are gonna shift because you're bringing all this blood up here, so you're bringing all this heat up here. And that basically, you know, melts out, you know, the blood is gonna melt away all that mucoid plaque, essentially. Yeah. So anything up here is you're basically more fully inhabiting the brain as you do breath work. And it's just, it could be a rough process at first, but it's almost like life is saying, like, are you really dedicated to healing yourself and then fully inhabiting your potential in your brain? And it's more so like life doesn't want to like give you that responsibility and that power without you realizing, you know, that you have to do something for it to where you can respect it. You know, once you get there.
Because the breath work is work. It's hard, you know, and no one's gonna do it for you. No one can do the breathing for you. Yeah. The only person that can do the self-healing, you know, you are your own healer. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, you're the healer or the dealer, man. That's it. You know, you either gonna keep doing things that satisfy a part of you that you're comfortable with identifying with, or you're gonna, you know, say, you know, maybe there's more to me than I've allowed myself to believe, and, you know, explore that. You know, kind of. Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are curious about this lifestyle and what it looks like, and what's been the hardest thing about this year, or maybe not the hardest thing, but maybe the biggest lesson that you've learned in a full year of no food.
I mean, it's kind of like, it's crazy, and it's a blessing and a lesson, or wherever, like, just everything. I was gonna say, the hardest thing, I guess, was like everything is you, you know, and you think you know that, I guess, once you say it and you like get the concept of, you know, everything is you and there's no separation and all that jazz. But I think for me it was like, you know, even it's just everything is you. I think that's the hardest part of it, that everything is you, you know, and the depths of that, of like how everything is you and how you respond to things, and the concepts of your, you know, the definitions that you give yourself. And then if you live by those definitions, and then how that shapes your world, and how it just shapes the way you see things, and then that perpetuates, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a sense. Like, if you stay in a concept and stay in a definition, and I think that was the most difficult part. Like, you know, parasites are definitely a real thing, but they're definitely like something that you create. So they're, you know, every creator lives through its creations, so your parasites are still you. So it's like, it's really, you know, to get, when you know, for me, getting to the bottom of that, like, I feel like was the most difficult part in the year, where it was like, wow, like, I thought I knew this, you know, I thought I had grasped this, but the depths of it, I guess, of how much everything is me. It was great, you know, because it's empowering, but at the same time, it's a, you know, it's a lot of responsibility, I guess, you know, and it feels delicate, in a lot of ways, you know, everything being you, and you don't want to take anything for granted or push too hard on anything, because that's, I guess, the thing more so, just being more gentle, you know, and not realizing where I was being aggressive with myself emotionally, and like even just getting high and different things like that. You know, again, I don't want to judge anybody, but for me personally, I was pretty much like force myself to be relaxed, force myself to feel like this, and like it wasn't genuine, you know. So I just got my chemical peace and my chemical relaxation, and so I feel like that was the most difficult part, man, for me. Like it was really realizing just how angry my actions were, you know, whatever it may be, you know, the depths of it, you know. I know it's subjective, you know, it's relative or whatever. For what things I would say are aggressive or non-gentle, I guess, at this point in my life, to somebody else, they would just look at me crazy for saying, like, how's that, you know, being an aggressor. But it just, I feel like the process has made me really gentle with life. It's made me a lot more gentle with thoughts, because it doesn't feel, you know, it doesn't feel private anymore. In a sense, it feels like it's all here for the universal, for the collective, and that, like, you know, where everything, I guess, you know, ultimately is God differentiated.